All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Let me know how it sounds and how does it look. Apparently, on my side, it seems like it. Listening to my live stream, sorry, seems like it's fine. So let's get into I guess, the straight away, the meat and potatoes of these mass layoffs. Now, I want to mention early that the mass layoffs that the numbers that I'm going over and the companies that are laying off. Thank you, Gizmo, Prepping Survival, Chicken Prepper, Little Lone Prepper, War. Thank you for the 5x5. I appreciate it. Southeast Prepper. Thank you. So, with that, guys, um, this is by no means just these companies. There are actually thousands of companies laying people off or are going to lay people off within the next couple of weeks. This first round, if you will, of layoffs are going to happen again next year as well. They're not sure if it's going to be January, February, or March, but nonetheless, there will be a second round of layoffs. So, when I talked about other companies, guys, thousands of companies, there are a lot of companies out there that I guess like we don't know, really small companies that are laying people off, right? Um, my son's mother is one of them. She belongs to a company that is going to lay her off in March. So they gave her a bit of leeway to get her shit together before she gets fired or laid off. Now, there are companies around the world laying people off and or firing as well. So this is going to be, I don't want to say a big problem because we've seen layoffs before. We see layoffs every year actually. But I don't think we have seen anything like this, at least not to my recollection. So again, this could be something that could potentially get bad, but we shall wait and see. So, are you ready for mass job loss coming soon? Right, and if you are working for one of these companies or you are with a company that's going to lay you off, do you have a backup plan? Uh, that is something that everybody, not just preppers, but everybody should be preparing for. Even if, guys, your job um, isn't talking about it, with everybody else laying their employees off, you should absolutely be thinking about it, and you should absolutely be coming up with a backup plan or developing, sorry, a backup plan for this possible layoff. And again, that's not saying your company is, but shit can happen, guys. It looks like the financial system is going to shit the bed big time next year, anywhere between April and March. So if that is being said now, it would be in your better interest to get ready for what's coming and the possibility of coming. I'm not saying that your job is definitely going to lay you off, but you should absolutely be ready for it if it does happen. Someone said train worker strike is back on the table, possible December 5th or 9th. Ken Step, thank you for that update. I can't keep up with this shit, guys. I really can't. It's oh, it's on or it's off again. Oh, they're at the table. They're making a deal. Nope, they're not making a deal. It's a tentative deal. No, not really. It's like it's back and forth. So thank you, Ken Step, for that. So with that, guys, every year, right in the fourth quarter, if you will, a lot of companies or businesses worldwide, they start to analyze if they need to. Actually, in the third quarter, they start analyzing whether or not they need to lay people off. And they also do this ahead of time for next year. So in the fourth quarter, a lot of companies will look and go, shit, we're going to have to lay people off immediately to recover for next year or help us recover next year. This is almost a standard. Last year and the year before, there wasn't a lot of layoffs because people were out of work because of the pandemic. So I guess they were laid off in the sense of the pandemic, but not like we traditionally see every year. Um, Stone Hombre, sorry, Stone Hombre said if your job depends on any of the companies laying people off, you are in potential danger of losing your job. Yes, everybody is. Every private sector, guys, your job is on the line to being laid off. Don't for a second think you're safe. Always think your job's in danger, and that'll have you prepare for it in case. If you sit by and think that your job is untouchable, if you sit by and think that um, you're gonna make it through this, and then it hits you, and then you're surprised, it's gonna take you for a ride. So it's always better to be prepared that your job can be cut. And private sector job guys, they are always on the table for being cut. There is no such thing as my job is safe because, right? So you have to keep that in mind, guys. Everything's on the table. Blue Vandal, thank you for that. So, um, yes. Now, gun girl prepper, the only people that are exempt, and even then, there is wiggle room for them to be let go. But city workers, for the most part, city workers tend to keep their jobs in times like this. They're like the last to go. Unless the city itself or the state itself is going through some big financial woes, they're less likely to let off their workers. Less likely, not impossible. I know back in the 70s, New York City went through this when they were laying off NYPD officers, right? So my father was looking to do NYPD and they were laying cops off, so he applied for Port Authority and he got that job. My mother was looking to be a Port Authority, a New York City police officer herself. She heard about the layoffs. She went with She was applying for Port Authority. My father said no. Don't know why he said that. Told her no. I'm already here. We don't need two police officers. She went and became a correction officer. Right. So correction officers, if a police department now, most police departments, guys, nationwide are having a problem finding people. So if they're having a problem finding people, they are less likely to lay people off because they are understaffed. Most police organizations around the country have less people, so they're not likely to let people go. They need them, so they can't afford to let them go. And if they do, guys, that's a sign of the times. That's a big problem. If they're understaffed as it is, and a city financial crunch comes along that is so hard and so heavy that they have to let people go. Don't call me sir, call me survivor. I'll get back. I'll look at IG. I don't look at my IG messages a lot, man. So forgive me for that. And listen, guys, if you email me or message me on IG or message me on Facebook under the Angry Prepper, I do not frequent it. And I should, but I don't. Um, and then the other side of that coin is I do get a lot of nut jobs, saying all kinds of weird shit. So I tend not to answer. My wife does most of the answering on the Facebook. So um, you'll be taught if you get a response from Facebook, it's 99% of the time to my wife. It's not me. Eyes wide. Nurses could keep their job. Again, it depends on the hospital, right? Hospitals are run like private organizations or private businesses. So if they're not making the funding, if they're not getting the money they need to pay their workers, they can lay nurses off as well. That can, but they're also the last to be affected. And if I'm not mistaken, the nursing industry is understaffed nationwide, so there shouldn't be a problem with nurses either, right? Neighbor Bob, can you ask me that question later on? He goes, "What is your backup heat plan living in the city?" I got a couple of backup plans, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Uh, yeah, Betty. I guess January it's going to get bad, but we shall see. The thing is like we all have this bad feeling. We just got to play it out, you know. And that's basically how it is. To sit here, and again, even with my video, when I did have a bad feeling, in the video I said bad feelings could be it could be a year from now, it could be tomorrow, it could be 20 years from now. But there's a bad lingering feeling that we're all getting. And listen, I have to I have to state this. The bad feeling, guys, we could be getting is because of all the stress and the negativity that we're surrounded by on a daily basis. That also plays into bad feelings, right? So we have to keep that in mind. You have to keep that in the back of your head. Patricia, supermarket layoffs. Now, Patricia, thank you for bringing that up. Let's dive into that real quick. But supermarket layoffs, um, yes, that is a possibility because supermarkets, guys, are in big trouble. Right? So there's an issue with them because supermarket chains, sorry, running into the issues of supply chain, labor issues, acquisitions. the pandemic dropping off the consumer spending, real estate costs jacking everything up, and huge debt with a lot of these supermarkets. Now, a lot of the supermarkets, guys, they developed this debt before the pandemic. So before the pandemic was an issue, the supermarkets were running into these issues, like the Fairway that's by me. Fairway has a bunch of stores here in the city, and they were running into problems down the line. So yes, you could absolutely be faced with a layoff because supermarkets are running into their own separate problem. I am going to do a video on that, but we could touch on supermarkets that are in trouble. Albertson, Safeway, Harvey Supermarket, sorry, Winn-Dixie, Buy Low, King's Food Market, Balducci, never heard of that one, Fresh Thyme, Earth Fare, Save a Lot, Lucky Smart, Fresh and Easy, Fairway Market, which I just spoke about, is by me, ShopRite, Piggly Wiggly, Sprouts Farmer Market, Shoppers, never heard of that one, Stop and Shop, and Sam's Club are all having a problem. Kroger's and Whole Foods, guys, are also having a problem as well, being that they shut down some of their locations during the pandemic, right? So supermarkets, guys, are closing down permanently, or their locations are closing down permanently. This, though, did start back in 2008 or 9. So keep that in mind. It's been a slow growing trend of supermarkets closing down, right? So again, I'm going to do a full video on that, and I guess stand by. Don't call me sir. Buy Low? I never heard of Buy Low. I never heard of that. Vision preparedness. Diesel shortage seemingly is not a real thing. There is a problem or a hiccup in the diesel market, but it's not enough to cause a diesel shortage, at least not yet. Reading a couple things, and that's after City Prepping did a video on it. He did a video on it, and his video, if you do the research behind everything he looked up, the fuel shortage, guys, is not a current issue. Can it be an issue? Absolutely. But is it something we need to worry about right now? No. Should we be looking at it in the future? Yes. But I'm not concerned about that, right? And the thing is, guys, diesel fuel shortage was supposed to happen back in what, August, right? And then it was supposed to happen this month, 25 days. We are in the 20. We're actually probably in the 26th day now, so, or the 27th day. Sorry. So we're well ahead where we're supposed to be, and I haven't heard or seen a bad diesel fuel shortage or read anything about it. Actually, sort of died off. But anyway, I could be wrong. Prices, yes, are going up. Enigma, you're right about that. Prices are going up, but it's not. I'm not worried about it. Let's put it like that. Will Barks. I don't know what Will Barks is. Yes, I am no one. Thank you for that. The strike is, someone mentioned earlier that the strike is back on, right? So listen, it is, it is, it isn't. They'll figure it out. They won't. We have to wait and see. If the strike goes into effect, guys, then we'll be seeing some real shit. But until the strike goes into effect, is what it is. Uh, Shannon, how was Prepper Nurse One? Prepper Nurse One to get together wasn't bad. It was good. It was a good time. Not everybody showed up that said they were going to show up, but nonetheless, it wasn't a bad deal. Well, everything's done on purpose. Gun girl prepper. Everything is a fucking headache right now. Again, supermarkets being another issue. Here's the thing with the supermarket, guys. It's happening so slowly that people are not paying attention to it. But if you look for yourself and you look at the supermarkets closing around the country, you're like, shit, man. And the thing with supermarkets closing around the country, guys, is it's causing people in certain areas to now leave their area and go to other areas to do food shopping, right? So now they're spending more fuel, they're spending more money to travel to further away places to go food shopping. In some cases, especially the elderly who don't have cars, they have to get a ride now, either through a bus service or some kind of what you call a handicap service to get them to there. Yes, Vision. Kroger's is buying Albertson. They're buying some of their locations, not all of them outright. So the way supermarkets work, which I thought was this way I'm going to explain. Supermarkets don't like they buy out Albertson. They're not buying all the Albertson locations. They're only buying the Albertson locations that are going to make them money. If they look at an Albertson location, just for example, in Ithaca, New York, if they look at that, they're going to look at it and go, that's not making enough money. We're not buying that one. Oh, man, but this one in the Hudson Valley area, we're going to buy that one. So that's normally how they buy supermarkets. They don't buy all of them at once just because they bought the name. They don't buy all the locations. I mean, sorry. No deal. So again, I need some handicap service. Everybody needs a handicap service, man. But if if you're not breaking my balls in end times prep and you're serious about it, you gotta, I guess look into it. But if they start cutting handicap services, that's gonna be a fucking problem. It's gonna be a big problem. Yes, profitable locations only, right? So we had a locate ShopRite bought out uh, Fairways supermarkets here in New York. And the main location, the big location up by us, was shut down because the greediness of the uh, building owner. So the building owner owned it. He rented it out to Fairway. And when ShopRite took it over, he tried to play cute and boost the rent on Fairway. And Fairway, on ShopRite. And ShopRite said, fuck you. And they bounced. And that location's closed. So all because of a greedy asshole, we don't have a Fairway anymore, and we got to travel. I hate shopping at Whole Foods. I hate the fucking shopping there. They're like the fucking worst. But that's what we're left with. We're left with that or the ghetto supermarkets in the area. Christian Prepper says, we're past stocking up. Now grab what you can. I agree with that. I agree with that comment. Southeast Prepper. So there are food items missing. Right. I wouldn't say food shortage yet. I thought we were going to see something this year. Again, if you look at some of my older videos, I thought we were going to see something this year, but we didn't. We do see certain food items missing off the shelves, but not in the abundance I thought I was going to see. Now, certain areas in the United States, they're seeing empty shelves and they're seeing some food put on that shelves, but not at the capacity they saw it, let's say, a year or two ago, right? So a food shortage, guys, it's when we see it, it's going to hurt. It's not going to be a couple of items missing off the shelves. We're talking about many items, if not a bulk of 50% or better missing off the items. Hell, even 30% of the items missing off the shelves. And then they start locking the supermarket down, forming lines, and having people go in 10, 20 at a time. That's when it gets bad. Right now, it's still manageable. Dan Phillips, no, not my wife. One of my kids' mothers is getting laid off in March. Yeah, my wife right now, she is holding on to her job, and not holding on, but her job is not talking about layoffs, so that's a good thing. But nonetheless, I tell her it's in the field she's in. She moves the money, so she will be the last to go if it came down to it. But like I said, everybody's job is on the table when it comes to that. When it comes to being laid off, but because she has seniority and because she's one of three people that move money around, actually two that does what she does, she's less likely to. But I always tell her it's always a possibility, always. So nonetheless, we get ready for it, right? Now, if I was still working, I'd be the last person to get let go because of my seniority, right? I had 17 years on at the time, or I would have had 17 years on if they were talking about laying off firefighters. They wouldn't go up as far as touching me, not with 17 years on the job, right? So my job would be, and for those of us with probably 10 years or more, we'd be untouchable in that sense, unless they want to watch the city collapse, you know. So there is that. Anyway, back to the live stream at hand. So, companies, guys, if the company performs well, people will keep their jobs. But that is not always the case. Sometimes a company is performing really good, but they're looking ahead in the future and they're going, shit, this is going to be a bad year. How is this going to affect us? Every company has analysts. The analysts will start analyzing shit and computing with their nerd glasses and go beep, boop, beep. And they're like, oh, wait, we're good. We don't have to let anybody go. Now, I know a lot of businesses, if you're human, you don't want to let people go. If you're human. If you are human, guys, you don't want to let anybody go. You want to keep everybody on. And that's normally how it runs. If you're inhuman, you have no problem cutting people off at the fucking knees. Adios, bye. Right? But most companies don't want to let people go. Google, which I'm surprised, the communist company of Google does not like letting people go. They do not like laying people off. They actually pride themselves as being one of the only companies that don't lay people off because they hire what they need. Other companies like Meta or Facebook slash Meta overhired. Twitter overhired. Tesla overhired. And when you overhire, guys, you put yourself in this boat of having to let people go when the time comes. Now, as far as the chaos goes, with if more jobs let go, will we see a depression like Tan is saying? We will. But a super duper recession or a super recession, guys, is a fucking depression. But they try to play with these words because, you know, no, I did not find a place in Texas. Not yet. It's again, that's another story in itself. That I'm not, the more I talk about it, the more annoyed I get. Not aggravated, just annoyed. Well, yeah, today's economy, Mark Sock Raiders, is a recession. That's what it is. So we're not in the depression yet. You'll know when we're in depression, man. Fuck that. Everyone will know. Everyone will feel it, right? But anyway, so guys, with that, if companies perform poorly over the year, depending on how bad the companies, they will let people go, as we're seeing now. A lot of companies perform poorly. Some companies perform on average or above average, but because they are all heeding the warning signs of a bad recession coming next year, they're letting people go now, which is, I guess, a sort of a fucked up move. But companies have to survive, right? This is something you do. You don't fucking sink the ship and go down with the ship if you're running a company. I understand companies' point of view when they're doing that. What I don't like what companies do is when they overhire. Because overhiring, like I said a few minutes ago, lends to you letting people go, fucking people in the ass, especially when they do it right before the holidays, right? Some companies are not letting people go. They're going to hang on with this fourth quarter, through the fourth quarter into next year, and then they're going to let people go, right? So a lot of companies who are letting people go now said they're going to have a second round in their company letting people go. The second round, guys, it's going to suck. It's going to fucking suck. And the problem is for like a lot of big tech companies, Twitter, Facebook, or Meta, whatever you want to call it, Coinbase, a lot of these places, guys, there's not a lot of jobs for them, right? So if all of these same companies are letting people go, right, there's no jobs for the people being let go if, let's say, Meta, Instagram, and Twitter all let go of people within the same field. They're not going to have anywhere to go. The only place they could probably go is to step down to smaller tech companies that are going to pay them less. But I'd rather get paid less than have no job. But again, companies, guys, and this is a list of companies that I got on the internet, and I think the last three were from Linda from Let's Talk Prepping. But Wayfair, Ford, Redfin, Compass. Now, Redfin. Now, a lot of these companies, I don't know what they are. I should have looked into it, but I know Redfin's a real estate company. I'm not sure what Compass is. Facebook, Amazon's letting 10,000 employees go. Though, back in October, they had plans to hire 150,000 workers for the holiday season, which was stated in October last month. But yet, just a week or two ago, Amazon announced they're letting go 10,000 employees. So I don't know how that math works. Goldman Sachs, Snap is letting go 1,000. Coinbase is letting go 1,100. Twitter is letting go 3,700. Tesla is cutting the salaries of the employees by 10%. Meta is letting go 11,000. Facebook is also letting go employees, but I don't know how many. CNN, I think, was under 1,000. Cisco, 4,000 plus. Shopify, 1,000. Salesforce, Lyft 700, which is the people on the inside, not the drivers. Stripe 1,100. Sorry, Netflix 450, a drop in the bucket. Microsoft 1,000. Robinhood 31%. 31% of their employees, which I don't know what the fuck that is, but that's a big ass number. Chime 160. Illumina 5% of their 9,200 employees. Peer Therapeutics only 59. Apple only 100. Seagate 3,000. ChargeBee Inc. 142. Gem Software 100. Shippo 20% of their staff. Iron Ox 100. Fair Wholesale Inc. 7% of their staff. Upstart Holding 140 hourly employees. Affirm Holding 1% of their staff. Open Dough Tech 550 and Roku 200. Now, again, guys, like I said, this is just the beginning. This is a long list of companies, and these are companies. These are main companies that we know about, not even smaller companies. Again, like the laboratory in Connecticut that my son's mother works in, her laboratory and laboratories like it are letting people go. Her lab, if I'm not mistaken, started letting people go back in September or August. They've been letting people go. A lot of these companies have been letting people go before July. So while, again, she's been dealing with that, I think they let go a total of 300 employees. And they just let go a shit ton more last week. They're being let go immediately, and people are being let go in her company by the end of this year, and then March. So again, that's a lot of fucking people being let go around the country. If the same field, guys, is letting people go, how does, again, somebody who works in big tech go to another tech company and do what? If everybody's letting people go. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be unemployed. And unemployment should go up. The unemployment rate I guess when they record it again in January, should be up a lot. Not a little bit, but a lot, right? We shall see. Anna said, read Rooster's, what you call it. All right, I wasn't looking at it. I apologize because I'm reading off this script here. But I will read it. Yes, Jay Myers. I heard about the crypto guy that was found dead. That's very interesting. All of this shit going on, and this guy ended up dead. Black Scout Survival guys did a video on this crypto guy being found dead. So head over to Black Scout's video. I think he released it today or yesterday. But take a look at this video. It's really fucking interesting. And it you know what happened. We all know what happened. We don't need to say it. Clearly the guy was killed off. Sorry. All right, Rooster. Do me a favor, Rooster. Email me at angryprepper@gmail.com. Thank you for that. I found it. Thank you, Anna, for bringing that to my attention. So, yes, right. Jay Myers, he predicted he would be killed, and he was. Are the fucking porn bots back on here again? Yep. Whatever. I'll deal with that bullshit later. All right, so did a video on FX crypto scandal involving the Democrats. Oh, okay. He did a FX crypto scandal video involving Democrats, and now he's dead. My mother Spark. No, I did not get a PO box yet. I've been meaning to do that. I'm just too many things on my mind, but I will get around to it. I would absolutely get around to it. All right, guys. So this is just the beginning. These layoffs are just the beginning, with analysts thinking there might be more to come next year. Like I said, admin, persistent inflation, a collapse in venture funding, and the fear in the public market, more tech companies than ever are being forced to do the unthinkable, and that's slash the size of their workforce. Now, for a lot of you that I guess pay attention, you know that these tech companies, you know, they try to be cool and shit and be your friend and you know, we're a family, and they try to play that card, which is like, I mean, it's cool if you're a small firm. If you're a small tech firm, it's fine. But once you have over like 1,000 employees, you're like you now you're just a regular fucking firm like everyone else. Trying to play the trying to keep from slashing people or firing people is not realistic when you overhire. When you do when you build redundancies in positions and you hire 5 people for a job that could be done by 2 people, right? You overhired by 3. And now if you do that throughout your company, now you fucking shit the bed when it's time to fucking let people go. Now, one of the things that people should be preparing for when it comes to being let go, guys, is that you should absolutely be paying attention to the temperament of your job, the temperament of your bosses. You should be looking at what your job is doing. So if you work for Goldman Sachs, for example, you should be paying close attention to what they're making, how much money they're making, or how much money they're losing. You should always be paying attention to what your job is doing in the stock market. If you work in the private sector, right? You should be sitting there paying attention. You're like, shit, they lost 3 quarters straight. That means they could be laying people off by the end of this year. Oh man, they took a hit on that investment. That was over $1 billion in loss of revenue loss. Shit, man, they could be letting people go. Oh man, how many people pulled out of fucking X, Y, and Z with them? Oh shit, we can't. This is going to be bad. They're going to let people go. So you need to pay attention to what your job is doing. And once it starts trickling down to the lower levels, which are like the managers and executives, and they start showing it on their faces, you need to start paying attention to what's going on. That is one way to prepare for it, guys. Reading your job or reading the room, if you will. Shit. All right. So I'm watching late. I report porn bots every time I see. Yeah, listen, guys. If I'm not mistaken, I think you guys on your end could report the porn bots if you don't mind. I know that the what you call it are on here. The mods. I think my mods are on. Maybe they're not. I don't know. If they're not on here, then I don't see any mods on tonight. But oh, Prepper 101's on. Sorry. All right. Prepper 101's the only one on. But if he if you can report them. There's like 3 dots on the side, just report them or whatever it is. I never see porn. I never see bots here. No mods. Yeah, there's only one mod on tonight. Such is life. Yeah, Prepper 101 was on. He might not be on anymore. But whatever. I can handle. I only have 500 viewers on tonight, so it's easy. All right. Mama. But Scrappy Cat said no mods. Yeah, all right. It's fine. It's fine. Listen, people can't be on here all the time, right? Holy fuck, jeez. But yeah, guys. So here's the thing. With this with this thing looming above everyone's head who works in the private sector, we should absolutely be getting ready for the possibility. There's always that possibility, right? So if you can't put money away, you should be putting food away. Putting food away is probably going to help you out a lot. Like I said, if you have a big store of food, if you have a year's worth of food or something, you're already ahead of the curve. Uh, what employment plans you got in the future, Jay? I don't have any employment plans. I have zero. Um, Scrappy Cat, any chance of me moving out of this apartment? Yes. Out of New York City? No. Unless a job comes up somewhere else? No. The wife doesn't want to leave because she just, and I didn't want to say this, but she just hit, what was it, like 85 and 90 grand on her job after working there for 17 years. And so with that, she doesn't want to up and leave if she can't find anything else. And I hear she worked that hard to make that money. And listen, whatever, it is what it is. Angryprepper at gmail.com. But she doesn't want to just up and leave. She wants to have another job before she leaves out of here. And if she can find a job where she's doing it from home, like she's doing it now, she'll absolutely leave. Yes, angryprepper at gmail.com. And then Lisa, yeah, listen, I don't blame her either, but shit's only going to get worse, at least here in the city. You know, um, Mayor Adams was asking for the city to make budget cuts, and he was asking for the NYPD to look to make deeper cuts. Though NYPD, sanitation, and FDNY weren't on the table, he was asking if there was any cuts they could make. Asking, so he wasn't demanding it, but he was asking it. Uh, Rip snorting, it's fine. I don't care. You could listen when it comes to income. You could look up anybody's income, right? So it doesn't matter. I'm not one of those people that don't talk about politics and I don't talk about income. It is what it is. I can fucking care less. You know, I know how to see. If I was gullible and didn't know how to read the game, I wouldn't fucking mention a word about fucking my or hers income. But I know how to read the game, so I'm not worried about it. Patricia, no, that's the other thing. She kept saying that to me. And you're saying it now, and a couple people said it before. You can't make the same money you make here elsewhere. But I'm like, it's all right to take a pay cut. That's what I'm trying to convince. It's all right to take a pay cut if you got a job. If we lived in Tennessee, for example, and you went from 90 grand to 70 grand, it's fine. You know, it's fine. So because the cost of living is so much cheaper there, right? But whatever. 80 grand in New York is 40 Ks in other states. War, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So Jay, I'm not cooking this year. I'm spending Thanksgiving with my mother because what happened, and so yeah. So we're not. So we do have a turkey that's a year old in the freezer. I'm going to thaw it out and make turkey soup with it, and I'm gonna jar or can turkey soup, right? So, um, or I don't know because we're not spending Christmas here either. We'll also be at my mother's place for Christmas this year as well. So we might do it for Thanksgiving. I don't know yet. Hopefully the turkey's good. I'll know when I thaw it out. But we shall wait and see. I've heard that turkeys can last a while in the freezer. I heard they can last up to a year, sometimes more. I heard that they can last up to 6 months. So it's a crapshoot at this point. Tan, the Chinese virus T-shirt, you could buy that on the Hodge Twins website. Yeah, you should be able to buy it there. Happy birthday to that turkey. Yeah, but yeah. So with again, guys, all the shit that's going on. Yeah, start listen. Canning. I can't stress it enough. After I was able to do it, guys, I was like, yo, canning is the shit, and canning's going to preserve your food, and you're going to eat it. That's the good side of it. Now, I know that with canning, some of the meat doesn't always smell great, especially when it comes to beef. But it's still something you should entertain. And I'm looking for canning recipe books. I think I have one around here somewhere. I can't find it, but when I do, I'm gonna start making some meals with the canned goods I had in there. I'm gonna leave them in there for like 3 to 6 months and then eat them, or make a meal with them and see where that goes. But you should absolutely be doing shit like that. It's easier to can than you think. You could put so much more food away and you save so much more money. Vision. I'm up to 7,100 miles, 7,136 or 63 miles or something like that, right? Yeah, I put it on, man. I'm telling you, listen, that Tahoe, that fucking thing moves. I was on the highway clipping 110 and didn't even realize it. I'm flying. I'm like, hey, shoosh. I'm looking at the cars like, I'm like, how fast am I going? I look at the speedometer, the digital speedometer. I'm like, holy shit. And I had to slow it down. Um, though the whole trip, man, I was doing no less than 90. But at certain points, man, I was fucking flying. And I didn't even realize it a lot of the times until I looked at the speedometer. I was doing over 100, man. I was like, yo, this shit is fucking awesome. Now, my Mariner, when I had the Mariner, I was when you hit like 75, 80, the fucking thing rattled like the Millennium Falcon, right? So I knew I was doing 80. With this, man, you just don't know. When you have open highway, forget about it. Forget about it. Just fucking, I was gone. I was like, this is what a car's supposed to feel like, not that fucking tank I was driving. So fuck, it's an awesome piece of machinery, man. Um, but yeah, before you know it, I was just fucking, I was flying down the highway. And then the best thing about it is when you're driving, like during the day, you're racing other people. Subconsciously, you're racing other people. You're like flying down the highway and you're looking in your mirrors, because I always scan my mirrors. I'm looking at my mirrors. I'm like, what is this fucking asshole doing coming up on me? I'm looking, I'm like, nah, he ain't gonna fucking beat me. You drop the fucking pedal, keep going faster. And you're racing people, not even subconsciously. Like I'm like, yo, he's just creeping up on me. And then I guess the guy would pick up that we're fucking we're I'm flying off, so he's trying to fucking race me. And everybody I raced in that Tahoe on the highway couldn't fucking beat me. Now I didn't go up against a muscle car because a muscle car would have destroyed me. But it was cool, man. It was cool to drive that fast and not have to worry about fucking going 80 or only 80 miles an hour. It's just it picks up so nicely, man. It's awesome. So, guys, again, be prepared financially and food wise. You should absolutely be prepared. And somebody, I think, the Northern Girl Hobbies, not Northern Girl Hobbies, but it's the Northern Girl Hobbies. I don't know why she decided to, whatever, not the point. So, this is another Northern Girl Hobbies, not our Northern Girl, but another one. She experienced a problem where she lives in Canada, um, and her ATM machines are out of cash. So she normally keeps cash on her. She wanted to get more cash, and the ATMs are empty. So that sort of spooked her. So now, being that if that is a problem, guys, uh, neighbor Bob, miles per gallon, I think I got 21. I think it's like 15. It tells you 18 in the street or and 15 on the road, but I clipped at 21. So it wasn't bad. It could be better, but it wasn't bad. But anyway, guys, also keep cash in home. If there is a depression or recession coming, make sure you keep cash at home. I think the banks are going to start pulling some shitty, fucked up moves with cash and pulling cash out. So I would absolutely pull cash out ahead of time and stay ahead of that curve. You do not want to be behind the curve and not have cash, and then some fucking shit happens or the economy collapses or the big depression happens, Black Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, whatever the fuck they call it. Just have cash at home. Make sure to be ready for that shit. Possum. South Florida, man. Thank you for joining me today. So, yeah, guys, keep it. Be ready. That's all I'm saying. The whole premise of this shit is be ready for this, man. Yes, be you. Listen, the Rooster. You should absolutely be your own bank. I was watching that show with Sylvester Stallone in it, The King of Tulsa. And it's weird. Was it The King of Tulsa? No, Your Honor, with Bryan Cranston. And there's a scene where he wants to pull money out. Now it's funny, guys. You can go to a bank. Yeah, HT. Yeah, maybe it was in her area. I'm not saying it was all of Canada. I said it was in her area. But anyway, it's interesting, guys. You could put money into a bank, right? You could put money in a bank today, and there's no questions asked. But you want to pull a certain amount of money out, like all of it. They're like, oh, why? Why do you want to do that? I'm like, why is it a fucking issue? The bank shouldn't be asking you why you want to pull the money out. 90% of the times, you should tell them to go kiss your dick and eat your ass because it's your money. I'm like, yo, when I put this money in this bank, you weren't asking me why I was putting it in. Don't fucking ask me why I'm pulling it out. That's bullshit. And, oh, we need 48 hours to let you get your money. I'm like, motherfucker, it's my money. If I want to pull it out today, I should get it today. This is why we shouldn't be fucking putting our money in banks, because of the bullshit they play with our money. It's our money. And yet if the stock market crashes and they have to pay out their fucking their investors first, we don't get any of it. Right? So again, um, try to keep your cash at home. Though, yes, if the market crashes and the dollar's worthless, you might have paper at home, whatever the fuck it is. Just keep money at home, because we don't know what the fuck this is going or where this is going. And wherever this is going is not fucking not cool, man. Not cool. But banks pulling the shit that they pull, like, you know that banks, You know what Bernie Madoff did, right? Bernie Madoff did it, and they tried to make Bernie Madoff the scumbag of the universe and all this other bullshit. They threw him under the bus. They're like, fuck him, he's a piece of shit, yada, yada, yada. Bernie Madoff did the same exact shit banks did, except for banks do it legally because they're protected by the federal government with all those stupid fucking laws. But Bernie Madoff pretty much did the same thing, except for when it was time for him to pay the piper, he had no money to pay. But banks do the same shit, and they hide behind legalities. So when they do it, and let's say the market crashes tomorrow, they pay out their investors, and then you come to collect your money. Well, where the fuck's my 30 grand? Oh, we can't get your money because X, Y, and Z. Now, I like a motherfucker to tell me, oh, we gave your money to the investors. Everybody in that fucking place is not going to make it out in one piece. That's all I can say. Credit unions are the ones that refused to give me my cash 3 years ago. Yeah, well, credit unions are way smaller banks, so they have way less on hand. So whatever they have on hand is, Yeah, listen, I would say fuck the banks. Seriously. Like get paid through the banks and then take your money out. You know? But yeah, fuck that shit, man. They can kiss a dick. Fucking, oh, what do you need the money for? None of your fucking business. You know? And, and it was a federal credit union. No shit. Yeah. So listen, guys, I don't. With everything going on, it seems like everything's bad. But now, again, I have to. I want to be responsible and report this part or talk about this part. We saw the same shit, guys, in the Cold War era. You mean the Jews? You mean the Jews? Um, we went through the same shit. No, not we, but our parents did, and our grandparents went through the same shit in during the Cold War. That fucking end of the world feeling every day. Every day they thought they were going to go to war or there was going to be a nuke dropped on us. Every day they thought the financial system was going to collapse. It's the same shit, man. Same shit. Wolfmule, yes. Banks and Ponzi schemes. Nate B, yes, I am in the NYC preppers. But it's guys, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit, and we all have to be fucking ready for it. I mean, like, to sit there and worry every day about Ukraine and Russia dropping a nuke on Ukraine, or Ukraine, detonating some fucking, bullshit bomb that the Russians are saying, whatever the fuck it is, every day now it's something new. Our parents went through the same shit, except for they didn't go through a pandemic and they didn't go through all the financial woes because of the pandemic. But nonetheless, guys, they had the same shit. They had that same feeling. You had people who were preppers back then that were like, any day now, man. Any day now, fucking Russia drop a bomb on us. And they were scaring the shit out of people for how long? Right? For 20, 30 years? Maybe 40? About Russia bombing us and Russia doing this and Russia doing that. And then nothing happens. We're in the same fucking boat again. And now you have people like Trump who fucking loves Putin. He loves him some Putin. He's like, oh, Putin's threats are not empty. I'm like, all right. And they are. They're empty fucking promises. They're empty threats. He's been threatening us for the last fucking 9 months and nothing. You can only threaten somebody so much until you do it or you don't. And people catch on to that you don't. But need to rip. Anyway. Bill White, yes, they control us with fear. Or rather, they control them with fear. They don't control us. Listen, I don't want to sit here and sound like that nothing's going to happen, but I also don't want to sit here and every day I'm like, yo, guys, the shit is on. This is going to happen, and I'm going to tell you when it does, I'm going to be right. And then they're patting themselves on the back when they're saying shit like that. You know the fear-mongering pieces of shit I'm talking about, right? The communist prepper himself, fucking every day we're about to die. Every day. We should be dead, guys, 1,000 times over, right? And then you got the same motherfucker talking shit about the United States, sucking Putin's dick, and then fucking putting his country on a pedestal, or at the very least not mentioning his own country. But yet, we should be dead, guys. We should be dead 1,000 times over. But we're not. And pumping fear in the people is what brings money in, unfortunately. If you look at how to build a YouTube channel, guys, and you look at, there's a video I watched on building a titles. they talked about three things you needed. Three things you needed to have a good title. And one of the things was curiosity, a question, and fear. And that, of course, that word jumped out at me, and I'm like, fear. You need fear in a title to get people to come to it. But I'm like, all right, there's one thing to ask the question that might sound fearful. There's another thing to say, well, we're all gonna die, right? So we have to keep that. We have to keep in mind, guys. Like, fear is what makes the wheel go round. Unfortunately, look at the news. The news will scare you to death every day. The news was pulling in bank during the fucking pandemic because they were scaring the shit out of everybody on the fucking little ticket readers. The numbers at the bottom. Oh, such and such people died today. We're at a percentage this high, right? And they were fucking just running that machine, and they had people glued to the TV set 24/7. People went to sleep with their TVs on because they were like, oh, and then they would wake up and go, oh my God, 1,000 more people dead. And they're like, what the fuck, seriously? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're all going to die someday, soon. It's for some of us, you know? Yeah, man, it's we're all going to die. But to constantly beat that drum is bullshit. But I understand. Again, I hate this as much as I hate communist prepper. It it makes sense. He's trying to make that money. He's trying to make that money, so he's beating the fear drum. And that, listen, it's fine, but you got to be responsible. You can't beat the fear drum and then feed people fear, and then when the fear doesn't happen, you continue to feed them some more. You know who does that shit? Those prophets out there, those fake prophets that are like the world's going to come to an end on this day. I'm telling you, because in the Bible it says this, and that. This is the day that the world ends, and then the world doesn't end. And people go, well, what did you get? How did you get that wrong? I miscalculated. I'm sorry. It's another 5 years from now. This is what he does. This is what all of them do. The ones that like to fucking press the fear button. Yeah, it's and then some people be like, oh, that's how he makes his money. I understand making your money. Um, Listen, guys, you pick a title, and your title should be, how is the world going to end? That might spark some fear in people, but you're asking a question. But when you title it, it's on, everything's about to change, that sounds very fucking sure that it's going to happen. When you make it sound like it's a sure thing, that's playing directly into people's fear. That makes you a fucking piece of shit. You know? Yes, and that's the thing. Sorry. End times prepper. That's the thing. People don't want to fucking look anywhere else. They refuse. With these channels, they just want to look at their channels. They don't want to look anywhere else. They're like, all right, he said we're going to run out of gas in 21 days, and 13 hours, and 4 minutes. He's right. And they don't look at anything else. And then channels like that, not just him, but channels like that, will say, we'll start talking about something else to get your mind off of that. Right? So it's a diversion tactic, if you will. Sick of it. Yes, I did get heavier. I am 277 pounds. I turned into a fat fuck over the last couple of weeks. So with that, I'm going on a diet. I am on a diet. I mean, I had to switch everything around. And like I said in my last live stream, not my last live stream, sorry, at the prepper meeting, I started feeling weird. Like sick weird. Like certain things, if I don't stop, I'm gonna fucking have diabetes, die of a heart attack, lose my toes, whatever the fuck it is. So I have to change a lot of shit around. But thank you for pointing out my fatness. Sick of it. I appreciate it. But yeah, guys, it is. Um, yeah, the diabetes shit is real, and I think that's what I've been circling the drain and feeling. So I started it today. I ate way less. I've been pounding more water today than anything else. Some shady fatty, but listen, it is what it is. I'm not one of those guys that are like, why would you make fun of me? Why would you call me fat? I'm fat. I can still lift a motherfucker in the air and bench press them, but yeah, I'm fat. HT, thank you. Yeah, spam diet my ass. Brian, not only too much carbs, but just not doing anything. Right. So I just didn't want to do anything. I don't want to do a fucking thing. But tomorrow I'm going back to the gym. I'm fucking, I'm getting back to it. I'm going back to the gym. It is what it is. Southeast Prepper said he's cutting sugar from his diet. Best decision ever. That's the other thing too, man. You cut sugar from your diet, you start feeling better, and you stave off a lot of fucking problems. Vision preparedness. I haven't rocked in a few weeks since that whole thing went down with my father. I put on probably about 12, 13 pounds since he passed away till now, right? Um, so yeah, water makes fat to sun. Water makes fat to sun or gone. Whatever. Sorry. And that's the other thing too. My knees, man, fucking, they hurt all the time because of the extra weight. So I got to get rid of it. That's the bottom line, guys. Call me the fat angry prepper. Yes, you can call me the fat angry prepper for the next couple of months. I don't care. It's chunking. If you get in the tub, hey, the rooster. If I get in the tub, the water just fucking out on the sides. And my fucking neighbors are like, "Why is it raining down here? Is that fat fuck in the tub?" But yeah, yeah. Cristal releases weight gain. Yeah, I know all that. So I'm changing a lot around. And listen, I got on the scale and I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" I looked behind me to make sure my wife didn't put her foot on the scale. I'm like, the hell's going on here? You know, 277. Man, I was the heaviest before this. I was 275, and I was like, no, 277. I'm like, I can't because that's it. Like I said, you get in the you get in a tub and you hear the fucking wood crickling. That's bad. And you're like, am I gonna kill the people underneath me? What the fuck's going on? So yeah, you got to lay off the sugar and the bread. End times prepper. I love bread. Oh my god, do I love bread? But I have to give it up. Like I said, started fasting today at 8 o'clock. I started my first fast, so I don't eat till tomorrow noon. I can have black coffee, water, or this other stuff I'm drinking. It's sort of like mud water. I'm starting to drink. Uh, they said, "Guys, stop body shaming him." Uh, but this stuff, it's like it's almost like a mud coffee. It's called Rise. It's made out of a lot of mushrooms and what you call it's like the healthiest shit you can get. Jay Myers, thank you for that. Drink that in the morning instead of the coffee. And then I drink my coffee with half and half afternoon. So I can't do anything. I can't eat anything till afternoon. I'm gonna give that a try for the next week. No, no junk days for the next week. So next Monday it'll be my first junk food day. Not junk food, but eating heavier. Keto intermittent fasting. I should look into that. Get a broken Vespa and push it around the city. Well, tomorrow morning I go rucking before I go to the gym. So I'll go rucking tomorrow morning, and then I hit the gym like an hour or two later, right? So get the blood going, and then hit the gym. So we shall see in a week how much weight I lose. If I can lose another 10 pounds in this week, I'll feel great. It'll be like, all right, good. That's that. But yeah, for the next couple of weeks or the next couple of months, guys. Yes, Jay Myers. I'm 5'10". So 5'10", 277 pounds. I'm a fat fuck. I'm a short fat fuck at that. Um, who's gonna kill his neighbors below him with fucking either water or a bathtub? You choose. But yeah, I have to fucking drop weight. I can't. And then the other thing is, for all the other shit I want to do, um, I got to drop weight, right? I want to go skydiving. I have to drop weight. I want to do zip lining. I have to drop weight. I want to do horseback riding. I have to drop weight, right? I can't do any of those things being the current weight because riding a horse at 277 pounds is going to fuck the horse up and it's going to tire the horse out more than it should, especially being that I'm not an expert rider. Skydiving, the chute won't open up and I'll plummet to the ground, right? So it'll be my luck, but got to drop the weight. Plus, I actually want to live a little longer, and they correlated weight gain to Alzheimer's, right? So J. Meyer says, I'm 6'2" and weigh the same. Yeah, then you're a really big dude. My Skydive 11 said, I'll take you skydiving. I appreciate that. Yeah, I always wanted to do skydiving. Just grow a pair of balls and jump out of a fucking plane. Check your BMI. Yeah, I will check my BMI. I got to get it properly done because the scale I have here is it's not correct. I lost 20 pounds in 2 months kickboxing. I'm hoping to lose my first 10 pounds in the next 2 weeks, and then do a speedy diet that keeps the fat off, if that makes sense. Because then you have to start living a lifestyle. So it's not about a diet. It's getting the weight off and then living a lifestyle that cuts out your sugar, cuts out the bread. You eat responsibly. You eat portion. That's the other problem. You put fucking 18,000 pancakes in front of me, I'll eat them all. You put 3 pancakes in front of me and tell me that's it. That's it. That's all I eat. Right? So I have to control how much I'm eating. That's my main problem. Right? So I eat too much and I eat too much shit. I gotta dial it back. I can't have fucking 12 pancakes. I have to have 3 or 4. Right? So you should start a fitness group. Get your life. I should start a fitness group of what? Round fat fucks that are angry. It won't end well for any of us. But yeah, the main part of the diet, guys, is focus. That's the main part. If you can stay focused and you can stay dedicated, you'll be fine. And if I can stay focused and I can stay dedicated, I'll be fine. How to prepare for a layoff? Yes, get fat. Get fat and live off the fatness of your body. All right, guys. So, wow, it's 10:02. With that, I'm going to head over to the Angry Truth channel. We're going to do a quick, probably 20 minutes, half hour on the Angry Truth. We're going to talk about Trump being off to a rough start. Yeah, and we'll see. Carry cans of Spam and chuck it at people. Your clubbing miniskirt. Is this about your fitting into your clubbing miniskirt? Nice one, Bobo. But other than that, guys, thank you for joining me on here. For those of you following me over to the Angry Truth channel, I will see you guys over there. Thank you.